Alright, it is morning. We are trying to get the kids off to school. Of course, one of my kids can't find the exact stuffed animal that she has to take to school with her for nap time. My mornings are just like your mornings. Got it. We found Foxy, so now we gotta get the kids off to school, come back and feed the sheep. Okay, finally got the kids dropped off. I guarantee you as soon as I get out of the car, the sheep are going to be yelling at me because they're hungry. Hey boys! Good morning. Did you eat all your food? Are you starving? Night is the last of our hay that we grew this year. I have to go buy some hay, and it's been a drought year, so it's expensive and it's hard to find anything that's good quality, so not looking forward to that. Sunny. Pop into the cooler, see if the potatoes are still good. So really would love to get a root cellar dug out, but we don't have one yet. So for now, we've been storing our potatoes in our walk-in cooler because it holds the right temperature. So let's see, these potatoes still look good, so we're gonna do a veggie soup for dinner. Let's grab some potatoes. Making a quick batch of bread, 3 cups of flour, and 2 teaspoons of salt. I like a good salty bread, so a nice heaping teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of that, and then half a teaspoon of active yeast. Cover this up and just let it rise. In the winter, I'm usually prepping dinner in the morning because it's cold still outside to get work done. So while it's a little chilly, I'll get my meal prepped so that in the afternoon when it's warm and it's good to be outside getting things done, I'm not inside prepping dinner. Veggies store really well. We've learned you can either store them in slightly damp pine shavings, or you can store them in sand or some soil. You can just store them in typical regular garden soil in a cool area, stays around 45 degrees, so like a garage. You don't want it to freeze, but that will help your carrots keep for a long time. My kids like to eat veggies that are different than what we can find at the store. And especially these ones because they dug them out of the garden themselves. They're just always more likely to eat veggies this way. All right, dinner's all prepped. Time to go outside and get to work. So today, seeding lisianthus seeds. I already have about 350 started. I have to start another almost 1,500. So we're gonna see what we can get done on that front today. I have a couple of batches of soil blocking mix to sift. Sifting it just helps make it more consistent, so we sift it all before we make our blocks. You know, people have asked why we start so many things from seeds. A lot of flower farmers start from plugs, so they order in pre-grown seedlings that they just plant. We did used to use some plugs until we found out more about what was happening in the plug industry, in the nursery industry, and the fact that a lot of times those plugs have been through 3 or 4 nurseries before they even would get to us. And when we reached out to those plug suppliers and said, can you tell us what's in these plugs? Have there been chemicals used? Have there been pesticides used in their production? Because those are things we are trying to keep out of our garden and our field. We don't believe in any pesticide use, and I certainly don't want any of the drenches and things in my soil, and certainly no neonics. And unfortunately, some of the plug suppliers were able to provide us with that information, others were not, or were not willing to. And some of the information that we found out was that, yeah, a lot of our plugs were being treated with pesticides that were systemic, that were staying in the plant long term, and that was just not something that we were willing to compromise on. So hence why we start those 14,000 seeds out of this greenhouse every year. It is a lot of time that it takes, I'll be 100% honest with you, but doing it on this scale helps me control the quality. It helps me know what I'm putting into my soil. It just makes me feel better about what we're doing for pollinators. The fact that I'm planting flowers into the ground and those flowers are not going to kill, you know, thousands of bumblebees and other pollinators because they've been treated with pesticides that are systemic. I think as a flower farm especially, we really have responsibility to the pollinators and to make sure that we are ensuring for their safety. So that's why we start from seed, even those difficult guys like the lisies, the lisianthus. So about done with straining this batch. I'm just straining into a 5-gallon bucket. This will probably give me enough for my next 2 batches of seed. So after I do the lisies, we're gonna start on our stock flowers and our pansies and violas, and after that in January is when we'll start on our sweet peas. Those will be the next guys up. All right, I'm pooped. I just got done putting the greenhouse film onto our tunnel by myself, which is a pain because the screwdriver battery keeps falling off. Anyway, it's done. It's on there. So now I just have to finish this end door, and then it's basically ready to plant into. We are going to put some ranunculus in here as well as the stalk. Once the stalk has germinated and grown, I just wanted to get the plastic on and get everything ready so that if we get a lot of snow or it gets really cold, that we don't have to be doing this when it's cold and nasty. So right now it's really nice and lovely and warm, 50 degrees, so good day to put that on. Oh, toasty. All right, well, it is time to go pick up the kiddos. I at least got my hands washed so I don't, oh, there's bread down on them. I'll just put some dirt on them so they won't be so embarrassed by me. Let's go. All right, we're back from picking up the kiddos. It's time to get dinner ready. Dinner is usually my first meal of the day. I usually don't have time for breakfast or lunch, so dinner tends to be my big meal. So tonight we're making a provincial veggie soup and our bread. And I'm gonna slather it with butter because that's the best way to eat it. Boys, come on. Into your pen, sheepies, and give them some pets.